Hello and welcome to the second video of GAWP's tutorial for Sonic Academy. And in this video I'm going to show you about percussion, which will go hand in hand with my kick drum, which I showed you in the previous video. If you didn't watch that, don't skip it, go back and watch it. Right, what I'm going to show you before I start is a little tip I found out the other day, a little shortcut which really helped me. So normally, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I'm always clicking on different things, you know, looking for bits and pieces and folders on here, and I figured out that if you go to this, if I go to desktop and find my folder where my samples are, which I've used, this is it, this is the one. So they're in there, but if you right click up here and set current location as home, then every time you press home it's going to be there, and it really does help your workflow, because I know when you're dipping in and out of folders and stuff, if you've got if you're organized, unlike me sometimes, you'll have all your samples in the place where you need to be. Just click that anyway. Right, so cool, let's have a look, see what we've got in here and what I'm using my track. I've got hats, claps, snares, percussion trips. I called it a trip because I don't know, it was a bit trippy. Wood block, that's actually out of another project that I did before, and so those claps, which I'm probably going to use somewhere just to give it my signature sound, and hats and loops. Some of these loops are out of and individual hits are out of the insert coin available on Sonic Academy, Vangelis Konstantakis, or it's something like that. I can't pronounce his second name, but he's one of my favourite producers. I really like his stuff, so I've used that and some of the Balocca stuff in the insert coin pack. So they're the ones that are in here that I've chosen to use today. So alright, enough of the waffle, I'm going to get on and make this track. Alright, here we go. So a clap loop. I'll start off with these claps. Right. Okay. As you can see, they're 125 because I labelled it 125. That's the BPM, which I'm going to ignore. Actually, there is a couple of ways you can change it. You can go into this and into the file, and then go into functions and change your time and pitch machine, so you can adjust it from the original to the destination. But I'm not going to do that today because I'm just going to do it how I did it originally. So and just leave it as a clap, because also sometimes this is good because your claps aren't exact. So I do like to have like loose claps sometimes. It sounds a bit weird having a loose clap, but yeah, it's loose meaning like when it's not in time bang on the beat. So as you can see, that one's quite, you know, I think it does look like it's spread a little bit. Let me just sort this arrangement window out. Can't see anything. Sometimes that's an absolute pain. Let me get rid of these, are so big. Let me get rid of those. I can go smaller now. Go on, shoot. Let me make this a bit bigger so you can see what we're doing here. Right, there we go. So yeah, what I'll do on, like, say something like this is a lot of the time I do cut a lot out of loops. I use a lot of samples. I just find that sometimes you get a better sound using samples that have already been sampled, and then you're sampling again and processing again, and you get more of a sort of that sort of older, sort of crunchier sound as well, because you know, you're bouncing and bouncing again. So yeah, so what I'm going to do is just put this one just roughly about there, because I know it's not a sharp attack on this one. And then what I'll do is I'll pull this back to there, so it's right at the start of the number one, and then I'll double check that on here that my snap regions to absolute value is on, because that means that the areas at the beginning will snap right to the bar and you won't get any dodgy bits. So what I'm going to do on that one is have a standard 2nd and 4 clap. There we go, just on there. Right, and then what I'll do is I'll bring that in to just about there. I'll zoom in on one of them, and then I can adjust. It'll still adjust all of them, by the way. And then I'll just bring that in to remove any clicks. And if I play that with the, if I bring the volume down on that, if I play that together with a kick, So there we go. And I just felt like that one needed a little bit more. So what I did was I got another one. There we go, that one, and put that one in there. This is an individual clap. So for you advanced producers, this, you know, it might be a little bit boring, this, but just bear with me. I'm just going to show the guys that haven't done this or might have just started out how I do it. And it's also interesting if you do it a different way, if you're doing it in a more of using a drum machine or something. I know you'll just be toggling the lights on and off. So let's have a look. Right, so we've got those together, which should sound, as you can hear, they're together, they sound, but individually, so they've both got different tonal qualities. That one's more of a woodier sound, so I'll just take that off there. One thing I have found, which people ask me all the time, oh, how do you get your drums sounding like this, or how do you get this sounding like that? And one thing I do stress is just don't over process everything. I keep things really raw. You know, you'll probably see that sometimes I might not even EQ certain elements. I might just do it as a whole in a bus, which I'll cover later on, but I just keep things really raw, and then if there is a problem or there's something which I think isn't working, I'll then go in and fix it, because otherwise you can spend for hours, and by the time you play it all as a whole, the whole dynamic of the loop or everything is, you've lost it because you've taken it all out through EQs really. So that's right, let's have a look. So what else we got in here? So we've got a hat. Right, so we've got the claps. That's another loop. I possibly could take the clap out and layer 3. Go on then, why not? Seems though it's a weekend, why not? Right, so what I'll do in that instance is slice out the clap like I did with the others, and as you can see, that one's got a tiny little bit of a sound before it. Let's this Zoom business is not my friend today. Right, alright, so what I'll do is just take that. Again, I'll probably leave that there until I've actually placed it in the right place. That helps. It really does vary. I mean, I sometimes do this, and I sometimes like, I'll show you what I sometimes do. Like, I'll put that one there and maybe lower that right down, and then sometimes what I could do is like just delete it so it's like that. So it switched up a bit. That I didn't do that very well, did I? Hang on, wait a second. I don't even know if that actually was right. And then occasionally, as you can see, it just adds a little bit of a different flavour that gives it a little bit, just something, you know, different. Sometimes as well, what I'll do is I'll pan one left slightly or one right slightly. I know the new Logic is not just a blend to one side anymore. It does actually, you can change it so it does do the right and left. Like, so say like I'll put one at maybe 20 at that side and then 20 that side. You've just got to make sure your levels are balanced well, because otherwise it'll sound unbalanced. And then like that one I could leave there. And again, what I would do is, if once you start getting a few, I'd have that where it was, I'd take a lot of the more of the bottom out of it, so that you're actually using the higher elements for that one. Maybe that, and then just bring that down a little bit. And occasionally I put like a reverb on that just to make it different and try and just not, so it's not as 4/4 and rigid. Okay, that's about it for the percussion. That's the adding the claps and the snare and a bit of a trip. And in the next one I'm going to show you the hats, how I add my hats to give the track more pace and also to give it more energy and a bit of swing. Okay, I'll see you in the next video.
Thanks everybody for watching, commenting, and indeed liking. We really do appreciate all the support we get here on our Sonic Academy YouTube channel. So if you found this video super useful, please, we'd love you to hit the subscribe button. We update the YouTube channel every week with new content. And if you want to watch some more relevant content, just click on the videos beside me.